Hey everyone, it's Cathy Zielske. Welcome back to my channel and the craft/dining room. Today's video is not about crafting, it is about this magic. I've been doing my own nails, well, technically since I was 12 years old, but I've gotten much better at it in the last year since I have gone all in on the Olive and June method to painting your nails at home. If you follow me on Instagram, you know I talk about this company a lot, and I only talk about companies a lot if I really love them. I'm not really known for my fashion. I'm known for card making, I'm known for scrapbooking. Fashion, not really my thing. But where I express my fashion is literally on my hands. So I decided to put together a video of me painting this manicure the Olive and June way, and hopefully it will inspire you to realize if you want to learn how to do this at home, you can. All you need are a few key tools, a little patience, maybe a sense of humor, and before you know it, you're going to be painting gorgeous manicures at home. So stick around for my manicure video coming up next. I mean, seriously, so good. So here's the spring box from Olive and June. This is the spring 2021 color collection. And this collection is so up my alley, it's ridiculous. Now I have a lot of the things already from the kit. I have my polish already, my remover pot. So today I'm just gonna focus on doing the manicure, and the colors are fantastic. You've got pink sands, oh, gorgeous. This is Angelfish, another gorgeous neutral, and Cockatoo. So you've got three awesome neutral colors in this, and you've got three bright bolds. So this is Lava, which is amazing, Wild Orchid, and what I am going to paint today, which I consider to be kind of like my dream color. So I've got buffer number one. I actually have two of these. One is older and I feel like the grit has worn down a little bit, and I love that. My Olive and June flat edge clippers, a nail file, my cleanup brush, which I will be using quite a bit and a little bit with the painting. These are kind of the basic tools, and so what I'm gonna do is, if this is the time that I would cut my nails. Now right now, if I can't see my nails over the back of my fingers, that's when I know they're not so long that I have to worry about them. I type a lot during the day and I do a lot with craft videos and whatnot, so I don't like them to get too long. But right now I think the shape is good and I think the length is good. But you can see I have a little chip there, I have a little chip here. This is day 7 of the last manicure I did. This color is JM. So that's a pretty good time of manicure, but I'm not gonna do any shaping here. I'm not gonna do any cutting, but the reason you wanna do it when you have your polish on, I don't have the perfect white tips for my nails, so this just makes it a lot easier for me to see the shape of my nail, and it makes it easier. So I think we're good to move on to the remover part, and then we're going to get into the cuticle care. So take my thumb, put it in here, and go like this. I don't know about you, but the dip pot reminds me of being a kid. Like, I remember, and granted, I'm going to date myself here a little, I am a woman of a certain age. I'm 54. So I remember the dip pots when I was like 12 years old. And I love this because it's, not only is it easy to use and get your polish off. Okay, there it is. And don't be alarmed by the yellowness of my nails. I wear polish all the time. I rarely take breaks. I'm just gonna clean that a little bit with my little guy here. And basically, some of us have nails that yellow more than others. I'm definitely one of these people. I don't use base coat because Olive and June polish has base coat built into the formula. They do have a color called EC, which is this nourishing sheer, and you can paint that on sort of just to keep your nail nourished and protected, but I never do. That's just me. If I were, I take polish breaks sometimes, but let's be real. Painting my nails is treat time for me. It's downtime for me. So I'm gonna go ahead and get all my polish off. And don't be alarmed when you see how yellow they are. It's all good. All right, all of my polish is off. And again, my nails are pretty stained, and I even have a nail that's pretty grooved here, but you know what? It's all gonna look good once we finish the prep. I'm gonna keep this open, right, and off to the side, because the remover pot is a huge part of this process. Now here's the secret, and this is the most life-changing thing. I used to take my nippers here, back in the day, and I'd push, and I'd clip, and I'd cut. I only use these if I have a legitimate hangnail, like a piece that's actually, sticking up off my nail. But since I've started doing this approach to my nails, it has gotten so much easier to keep my cuticles tamed, I guess, because I don't have the greatest lower little area here, right? Cuticle does grow up on my nail. So what you do is you take the edge of your buffer and you lightly buff on the edge of your cuticle. Now, one of the things Olive and June talks about is, you know, when you get out of the shower, you push back your cuticle area gently with your thumbnail. And sometimes I do that if I remember, but most of the time I just wait until I do my weekly manicure and I come in here and just buff gently over the cuticle area. Nothing heroic, right? You don't go really hard. I just go right over the cuticle like that. And then I'll gently buff lightly in a little circle just over the rest of the nail plate as the finishing touch. That's kind of it. You're just buffing away that extra cuticle that grows up onto the nail plate. And I know some of you out there, you don't have this problem. Like I have a friend who has the cuticles from God. They're just amazing. Me, not so much. I have to work at it. So I'm going to go ahead and go through this whole process of buffing all the gentle cuticle area. Again, I'm not going really hard here, but just taming those guys, getting them down, and I'll keep doing that until I have all of the cuticle area and my nail plates buffed and prepped. Once your nails are buffed, they look like hell. Okay, that is not right, but resist the urge. Do not go wash them. Do not wash them. Rather, come back to the pot and dip, right? Just get a nice little dip in there. And what that does, it gets all the little dust and cuticle filings off your fingers, and you can take a look and see how you did. And sometimes I do a little more, right? Like as soon as I get the nails dipped, I take a look and then I'll go around and see which area maybe could use, well, as I like to say, a lick and a promise, right? Because sometimes you'll have a little area of cuticle that's still there. Here's the thing, like I said, I don't have the world's best cuticles. I work at it, but they have improved so much more since I've started this system, right? I don't have to hack at them, but this technique and doing weekly manicures has really helped the condition of my cuticles. Plus, I do a lot of hydration during the week, but right now, during the nail prep time, hydration is not your friend. You don't want to be hydrating. We want to keep things nice and dehydrated, because that is the secret to making a manicure that lasts longer. So I'm just going to keep going here, finding a few more little areas that need a buff, and then we'll do our final dip before we get ready to paint. Also, I rarely film myself doing this process, but I thought it would be fun to do because the thing is, I have gotten so much better at painting my nails, and I am of the firm belief that it actually helps build brain power. You know how doing things that you're not good at and then practicing and getting better? I think it develops the brain. That's my personal opinion. So I always keep my pot open while I'm painting, because if I make a mistake on the first coat, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to go right back in and dip and start over, because I feel like the first coat is probably the most important one in my process. There's no shame in starting over and dipping and, repeating as needed. This is Poppy, and this is Olive and June's really revolutionary little topper that goes onto the top of the polish bottles. These polish bottles have an overcap, and Poppy goes right over the top. And what it will do, if you need that extra comfy grip, this thing is so wonderful for someone who's just getting into painting your nails at home. It just gives you a little more clearance. You can see what you're doing. I think Poppy is brilliant, but I don't use it. And I don't want to hurt its feelings because it's legitimately the cutest little thing. But for me, the overcap gives me all the grabbing space that I need. So that is that. I want to show you, I always keep this guy out when I'm painting. I'm going to put my clear out. And a little tip too, I'm going to show you this really quickly. Every time I'm going to start painting, I actually take a little bit of remover and wipe a little cotton pad around each opening of a bottle, because you don't want to bring any of the mucky muck in. Okay, And I also have my dehydrator here, the nail primer. This is gonna go on first. And of course I've got my little remover brush, which I'll just keep on a little cloth here, up and out of the way. Also, before I start to paint, I'm gonna take my bottle, just go like that, not shake it. Now this is a different consistency, it's very liquidy, and all you wanna do is just get it on your nail quickly. Paint over all of them. And it's not a base coat, it really is just a liquid to really dehydrate that nail plate, because a dehydrated nail plate is a nail plate that doesn't chip. So the idea behind this is going to make your polish last longer. I mean, Olive and June already lasts a really long time, and that's good and bad. The bad part comes for people like me who love to change their polish a lot. But usually by like day 5, it's still looking good, and I think, well, there's probably no reason to change it. And here's the thing, if I mess up a nail, I repeat this whole process. I take the polish off where I messed up, and I will start over with the primer as well. So let's start painting. I'm gonna open my cap, and one thing you will notice if you've never used this polish before is Olive and June, the brush here. Let me just take this out and show you. The brush itself really does mirror the bottom of a nail. It's very rounded, and that is awesome. The brush is also flat. See that? One side is wide, one side is narrow, and this really does help with painting. I'm going to take my polish. I like to bring it up one side and get all the polish off, so I have about that much on the back side. And for this one, I'm just going to hold up my thumb. I don't usually paint this way, but let's give it a try. Put it in the center, press towards the cuticle, stop short, and pull. And repeat. And repeat. Oh my gosh, that color is amazing. Now there's a little gap on the side, totally fine. Learned about that from watching Matilda on video. Now I like to say mind the gap. So again, repeat. Let that polish off one side, and now I can get back into how I normally hold my hands, and I do get pretty close. Center of the nail, push and pull. The idea is to push close to the cuticle, but not flood the cuticle. And if you flood the cuticle, which simply means you get polish all over the cuticle area, and start over. The owner of Olive and June likes to say, don't be a hero. Right? It's hard to come back from. It is. And if I mess up, I'm going to start over. Center, push, pull. See how the shape of the brush is just kind of lined up with my nail bed? You want to strive for thin coats, right? You don't want to be super thick, because super thick is going to cause problems. It's going to take longer to dry, and you're going to have bubbles. But try this. Do the whole middle of the nail. Push, stop short, pull, and then just pick it up on the side. And if you leave a little gap on the edge of your finger, that's fine, because it actually serves to almost elongate your nails. And I literally just, did you see what I just did? I got polish on my finger. So here's what we're gonna do. Real talk, start over. This is different for me because I usually paint in my bathroom. But I think it's a good example to show you what happens when you mess up. Reprime it like that. And you're going to start over. That actually feels like too much polish. But middle of the nail, push, pull, pull, pull. Oh, that's fantastic. Pinky's a little smaller. Let's see here. Center of the nail, push, pull and pull. Now, I'm going to close this for now. That's a pretty good first coat. You see that? Now, if there's any area that you get polish on your skin, right, which I did, here's what I've got. I've got my little pot, and all I'll do here is I'll just come in very, very carefully and clean it off. I clean off the skin first, but I'm not going to do any other cleanup until my nails have had 10 minutes to dry. Sometimes I think people only show their dominant hand, and I want to give you a few tips about non-dominant nail painting, because that's where I feel like my brain really starts to get a good workout. push, pull. That's a little better, although now it looks like there's a bubble. Push, pull, push. See how slow I'm going? I mean, legit, that is really, really slow. And I did kind of flood the whole side. So that little bad boy is going to need quite a bit of cleanup. That kind of looks like hell. We're going to try one more time. Now, some of you might find that you get frustrated by this. I actually don't. I enjoy painting my nails. And I enjoy trying to get it right. You know, that's the other thing too. I just kind of look at it as like this fun little challenge. That looks a little better. And so I just keep going until I get it right. And I'm going to get a little closer with my face. There we go. Push. And I get quiet. I've heard that the thumbs are actually among the hardest to paint. I don't know if that's true, but it certainly is for me. So let's move on. Slow. Center of the nail. Push down. Pull. Slow. Slow. There's no rush. Right. Just be slow. Center of the nail. Push. Pull. Push. No rush. Slow. Center. Push. Pull. Push. Pull. Got quite a gap on that side, but I think that's okay. Pull. I think I am going to go, we're getting a little thick over here, but I'm going to pull it. I think that's fine. Center. Push. And I do rest, I oftentimes rest my pinky finger without smudging my polish when I do the pull. So here's an important step. You gotta let your polish dry. This isn't like any, thing you don't know, right? That looks pretty good. We're gonna come in here and we're gonna tap 10 minutes and we are gonna follow that. And just usually what I do is I have headphones in, I watch a show on Netflix, but I'm gonna give 10 minutes between each coat. So I'll see you in 10 minutes. So the next step that I do is once I've hit that 10-minute mark, I take my cleanup brush, I'm gonna dip it in the remover pot, and then you're just gonna do some cleanup. And this is where you're kind of gonna look at your lines and you're just gonna clean them up a little. If you need to, like here's where I would say, if you have flooded your cuticle, start over. Because you can't really clean off a completely flooded cuticle. It's just a little too hard to do. But this little step here really does give you the opportunity, and this is kind of awkward to show you this on the camera, but I like to do my polish line shaping between each coat because I think it's easier once it's almost dry. This actually looks pretty good. Like I did a pretty good job on that hand. Maybe a little bit less here. And thumb, yeah, I think we're okay. Some of this is about optical illusion too, like I think having the ability to come in and clean up your lines really does help the mani to look so much better. And that's why it's like you don't have to be all the way to the edge of your nail plate, right? You can have a little bit of a gap, and that's going to be just fine once you've dipped and gone like that. I do find this really hard to do also with my non-dominant hand because I tend to slip. And believe me, I've tried to get to this stage, or I've been at this stage, and then I start over with the nail because I went too, I got a little too aggressive with my cleanup. Now we're going to come in and we're going to add coat number 2. So for the sake of time, same process, right? Get all that excess polish off one side and start painting. And the nice thing is you already have if you get your first coat down nicely, you have a nice guide to follow, and I think that's what makes the second coat look amazing. That is coat 2, and I'm going to go ahead and do the other hand off camera, and then we'll come back in, do the final cleanup, and add our top coat. So once you have that second coat on, and I think this is great. I could do a third coat, but you know what? I'm not going to, because in the name of time and drying, you just go in and do any cleanup again with the cleanup brush, and you'll get a feel for it over time, right? It definitely has helped me, and especially like pulling your skin back, like right here. Let me show you this. See how I have a little bit right there, right? You just go in there and get that off any place on the edge of your skin like that. You can even come up the side of the nail a little bit, right, if you want to kind of create a gap. But that's the basic of just getting, or that's the basics of just getting the polish down. Now I'm going to get my super glossy top coat. Love this stuff. It is a wonderful top coat. And again, I try to keep the coats thin too, though. I don't want it to be too goopy. I don't want it to be too thick. So I'll just come on here, paint the top coat with the beautiful shine. And this one, of course, is a little easier to, go like that. I don't cap my nails. I'm not really in the need to do that. Plus, a lot of times my nails are so short, I find it really hard to cap. I think if they were longer, I might get more into that, but just get my nice coat on. And sometimes I'll do cleanup too. If I get really sloppy with my top coat, again, I try to keep it, not too thick, but I'm not as mindful. And another thing that I do quite frequently, I'll do my mani, right? And after everything's super dry and rehydrated with cuticle serum and hand serum and all that good stuff, when I wake up the next day, take my shower, whatever, and I sit down at my desk to start my work day, I'll do another top coat. I usually do the second day top coat. It's just a thing that I do because after I've, finished the paint job and everything's good and I've slept on it and I've showered, I'll add that second shiny top coat, and it looks amazing. Isn't that good? Now let's go ahead and move on to the dry drops. Here are the dry drops, and this is a cool product. I love it. It is a little oily, so what you're going to do, you're just going to take a drop, put it on your nail, and let it coat the nail. I see, this is an awkward angle to show you because what I usually do is I drop it on the cuticle area and let it run off the tip. Just one drop, right? Just squeeze it on. Let it go. One drop. Let that run. Also, little eye-hand coordination helps. You don't want to like drop it. You don't want to drop the bottle right into your freshly painted mani, right? Getting that on, okay? Now, it is oily, and some people are like, what do I do? It's like super oily. What I do is once I know it's kind of moved and gotten all over my nails, I just rub it into the back of my hands. Like I'll take this side and just kind of go like that and soak in the awesome moisture, and then they will be dry to the touch in 90 seconds. So, and that, friends, is my at-home Olive and June style mani using this gorgeous color hibiscus, which I think is just an absolute stunner. So I'll put links below if you want to check out more information about Olive and June. The spring kits are, they're going really fast, but the manicure system is legit, and you are going to have nails at home that you are amazed that you are able to do. So check it out, and thanks so much for watching. I'll see you back here with my usual type of video, card related most likely, and of course you will see nails by Olive and June. Once the mani is completely done, it is time to add hydration back in via hand serum and cuticle serum. I am obsessed with these products. I use them multiple times a day. I keep one at the bedside and one at my computer, and I always remember to hydrate. So remember, when you're in that buffing part of the process and everything looks like a hot mess, hydration will follow at the very end. I hope this inspires you to try the Olive and June method, and you can become a master of the home mani too. Well, I don't know if I'm a master, but I mean, I'm pretty good. Thanks so much for watching today. I would love to have you become a subscriber to my YouTube channel. And if you do subscribe, be sure to hit the gray bell below the video so that you don't miss the next time I post. Here are a couple other videos that you might be interested in watching. Thanks so much and have a great day.